Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Cookies, where we talk about life, leadership, positivity, laughter, tangents, sometimes, a few times. And we are so excited that you're joining us this morning. Today's show is sponsored by Rookie.io, reputation management, lead generation, funnels, everything that you need, including automation, to get your time back with Rookie.io. Learn more at www.ruci.io.
You're getting good at this.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Good morning, Nick.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Coffee and Cookies. Glad you guys could join us today. We have some guests in the house today.
Yes,
and if
we
you
do.
are local to Collin County, you're going to want to stay tuned into this one because this is going to be educational, it's going to be purposeful, and there's things that you just don't know. So parents, sit down, grab your cup of coffee, get ready. Here we go. Lindsay.
We are so excited to introduce Dan Powers and Lynne McLean from the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County. Thank you guys so much for being on the show with us today.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right.
So you guys are local. Didn't
Yes.
take you very
Yes.
long to get here.
Yes.
That's so exciting. Did y'all meet at the office and then come over together? Or did you guys meet here? I don't
met
even
here.
know.
Met right here.
I didn't even
Yeah.
ask
Yeah.
that question. Okay. That's awesome.
So to get this started,
Yes.
Lynn, you function your entire day on one cup of coffee.
I do. I just have one cup of coffee in the morning. I guess I'm an alien. I don't know how to say it.
She does supplement with Dr. Peppers.
Ooh, that's Lindsay's.
Yes,
That's Lindsay's thing.
I do like a good Dr. Pepper.
yeah.
Have you tried the cream soda version?
I have not.
Oh my gosh. That's my new go-to. That's my favorite.
I have to put that on my list.
So I told my sister-in-law one time, I'm like, oh, just get me some Dr. Pepper cream soda. So she bought me a bottle of Dr. Pepper and a bottle of cream soda.
did
And
not.
I was like, that is not the same. But thank
Not
you
the
for
same,
trying.
right? Well, you want to know what it's all a matter. It's a matter of what. Yeah, she actually did
tried.
exactly
I
what you told
know.
her to do because Dr. Pepper cream soda is not everywhere.
She was here in Texas, so she
Okay.
had the
I tried.
options.
Hey, I tried. I tried. So you run your entire day. So then since you only get one cup of coffee, what is your go-to coffee?
My go-to coffee is community coffee.
Community coffee, and what roast is it?
It's breakfast blend.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's the one I like.
That's about a mid-range on the caffeine level. Just so you know, it's about mid-range. It's a good start. A good start. Now, if y'all know me, I don't do that. I don't. I'm like a double shot of espresso 3 times a day.
Yeah,
Let's roll with
to
that.
keep that energy going. It's needed.
Someone
Yeah.
has to. Goodness gracious. What about you? What's your coffee?
Well, I go for definitely some espresso. Go for a latte in the morning. So
Ooh, latte in the morning.
Gets me
Okay.
going, so.
All right. And you?
I flip back and forth. I like
Yes,
some cold
you
brew.
do.
I like cold brew because it's nice and smooth. There's no bitterness in it, and I add a splash or 15 splashes of cream in it.
It literally tastes like ice cream.
Yeah.
It tastes like ice cream in the morning,
And then I also enjoy chai lattes.
which is what she's been doing lately. And I'm like, please get back on the coffee.
Wow. I feel like I've been really good. Man.
She's like, it has the same amount. It has
I
caffeine
didn't
in
say
it.
that it has the same
It does not have the same
amount.
amount.
It has
It has
some
you
caffeine
know,
in it. I was
you
just
know.
trying to cut back a little bit.
Why? Why would you put your body through that?
Oh,
So you guys came to this show to talk about what you guys do, what your organization does, not to talk about coffee, but this is Coffee and Cookies. So we had to open up. Okay, so here we go. Ready? One more question before we go down the roll thing. What is your favorite cookie? What is your go-to cookie?
We didn't prep y'all for this.
you
So
My
Totally
favorite
on the spot.
is homemade chocolate chip. Actually, the ones that I make. Yeah.
So you don't even like anybody else's chocolate.
No. I make a really good chocolate chip cookie.
She does. I'll vouch for that.
Okay. Dan, what you got?
I go for the oatmeal raisin because it pretend I'm eating health food at the same time and having a cookie. So it's kind of you can justify an extra one.
Have you guys
So.
ever had oatmeal cookies?
Justify an extra one. I love that.
No bake cookies. No bake cookies.
No.
They're oatmeal with chocolate and peanut butter, right? So And you don't bake them. They harden.
You freeze them.
No, you don't freeze them.
Oh, Nick freezes. I freeze them.
Oh.
Amber freezes them. You're just doing it wrong.
You've never had Dustin snow-baked cookies.
Rude.
Anyway.
How long have we been friends?
I know.
Man, vicious.
Anyway, so funny story, real quick. I was at my mother-in-law's house one time, and she likes to bake, and so she baked all these treats because all the family was coming into town. So I popped a cookie in my mouth one morning for breakfast, and my husband walks in, and I thought I had snuck it in before he saw it. He's like, "What you eating?" Oatmeal.
And that's how you do relationships. Lie to your husband.
I was
Just
not
kidding.
lying to my husband.
There was some oatmeal in the cookie,
There
right?
It was oatmeal, and that's the main ingredient. Closely followed by peanut butter and chocolate and sugar. You know.
Oh, that is greatness. Okay, so go ahead. Tell us what organization you guys are with.
We're with the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County.
And what is that? And here's why. Like, I know because we've spoken,
Yes.
but the audience doesn't know.
Sure.
So what is this? What is this advocacy center?
Yeah, so our mission is to provide safety, healing, and justice for children victimized by child abuse or neglect in Collin County. So all cases of child abuse that happen in Collin County start at our center. We accomplish our mission through a team approach, co-housing all the professionals who handle child abuse in one building.
Okay, so hold on. So let's take that a step back.
Okay.
You're telling me that this is actually an issue in Collin County. This is something that actually, even with the income demographic that we live within, the people that we do life with, there's a child abuse issue within Collin County.
It happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere.
Child abuse does not discriminate.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know
Yeah.
because I'm not. Again, this is something I'm not familiar with. And then your center specifically helps the kids that have to go through this traumatic event.
Yes, the children and the families. And we do that through a team approach. So at our center, we have about 225 professionals housed there. So we house law enforcement, child protective services, and then we have 60 staff who work for the nonprofit that provide services that strengthen and support the services offered by the city, county, and state agencies. So we have social workers, therapists, interviewers who interview children, and we all work collaboratively to try to help children be safe and help them heal.
I didn't even know this was a thing. Like, seriously. So just real quick, Lynn, how do we meet?
I met you through your sister.
Correct.
I had done a presentation at the Prosper Rotary about the Children's Advocacy Center and our plans for the future, and she suggested that you and I connect.
And we did. And when she told me what you guys do, I was like, we need to have you guys on the show because I didn't know this was one, an issue. I live in my own little bubble at times, right? One. And then two, I didn't know that there was a center so close. So where do you fit in over here?
Well, I'm the chief operating officer at the center, and so I oversee all of our programs that we offer to kids, and we call non-offending parents. So the bottom line, kind of we're talking about it, is evil is out there. Evil doesn't discriminate against any race, any ethnicity, any income. It's out there, unfortunately, and so we're here to respond to that. And it does exist in Collin County. I know that's a myth that kind of is out there sometimes. That it's not there, we don't need this, but unfortunately, it does. And we have to do that, and we have to grow with the county as we're doing right now.
Exactly. I mean, last year we served almost 4,000 children and family members.
Wow.
Yeah.
4,000.
Yes.
So you're saying as the community grows, elaborate more on that.
Yeah, well, one of the things we've been most concerned about is the projected growth in Collin County. The exponential growth, and Prosper is certainly an example of that, and how we could continue to offer services to 100% of children who need our help. And so given that growth, we studied, we collected data, we determined we would max out capacity to serve children in our current center in Plano by 2023, which is now right around the corner. So we launched a capital campaign to build a second facility in McKinney to meet the needs of northern Collin County for the next 15 years or so. And that center actually will be opening in August of 2022. So just in a
Nice.
couple
That's
months.
fantastic.
That is great. That's a
awesome.
great success story. That's awesome. Well done.
Yeah,
You know,
we're
the
very-
great part about that is the community has supported us all the
Absolutely.
way, and we're walking into it with no debt.
That's right.
Wow.
Which is fantastic. And you know, the sad piece is that we need it, but
That's
the
right.
the great piece of that is our community sees that need and understands and has supported us through the journey. And we're going to be able to walk in there and start serving kids in August.
That's right. And what this center means, too, is that no matter how large Collin County grows, no child will ever be turned away.
Exactly.
And that's the goal.
Good morning, Amber. Good morning, Nolan. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. So let's go down this road real quick. That's great that you guys are growing. Okay, that's sad that we need. Unfortunately, we need a service like y'all. But thank you guys for stepping up and serving. Thank you very much. From the from a dad of 3 daughters, thank you very much for stepping up and serving. Okay, from a gentleman. So I used to coach kids. I coached gymnastics for 16 years. Thank you for stepping up and serving. These kids need leaders in their households. They need leaders in their families. They need leaders in their schools and churches. But sometimes that leadership is not there. And unfortunately, when leadership is not there, strong, positive leadership is not there, these kind of situations come out. Okay, so thank you guys for stepping up and filling that gap. I really do appreciate that. So let's go down this road real quick of how does someone enlist your services? Like, does there have to be like a formal 911 complaint, or can a family member call? Like, how does this start?
You want to take it?
Go ahead.
Okay. All of our cases come either through law enforcement or through Child Protective Services. So if someone
Okay.
calls the 1-800 number, makes a report of child being, they're concerned that a child might be abused or neglected, that case comes to Child Protective Services in our building, and then the team goes into action. So it comes either through CPS or law enforcement.
So everybody in the state of Texas is what we call the mandatory reporter.
That's right.
So every one of us is required, if we suspect child abuse, to call 1-800-252-5400. I've got that one memorized, unfortunately.
Hold on. Say it one more time.
1-800-252-5400.
Okay.
And that's the child abuse hotline, and that goes to Austin. And there's an intake worker that'll talk to that person, and then that case will be transferred to the county of where that child lives, and then that allows that county, and if it's Collin County, it goes to us, and then the services can start, or the investigation at that point starts. But you know, you don't have to know what's happening.
That's
you don't
right.
have to witness it happening. If you suspect it, is what the law says.
Exactly.
So you have a reason to believe, and you
Okay.
make that report and allow the professionals to investigate that.
So yes, I get it. It's needed. What happens if someone calls and because I'm a dad of 3 daughters, okay, I have a discipline structure. All right, I have a 5-piece discipline structure, and one of those structures is push-ups. Okay, I give my girls time to understand things, and if they don't get it, step 3 is push-ups. Right. So let's say a parent decides that me having my daughter do 10 push-ups is considered very, very bad. I'm not going to use that word on here because we're live, but very, very bad. And they decide to call this number. What happens to me? And the reason why I'm using myself as an example is because I don't want to target anyone in the audience, but people need to know, yes, when someone calls, what is it if it's someone someone just interprets it the wrong way?
Well, the first step of that is they're going to talk to an intake professional, a social worker type person, who will kind of talk with them about what they've seen or what their concern is. And so at that point, if we're talking about push-ups, it'll be closed at that moment. It won't go beyond there. But if there's more concerns, it may be sent to the county where that child lives, where there's yet another screening process to see whether that investigation needs to, keep going. And if it does, then it'll be assigned to a worker and assigned a priority. And then that worker will investigate. That Child Protective Service worker will investigate. If they feel it leads to a criminal investigation, then a law enforcement investigator also will join in that investigation.
So there are safeguards to help vet, not stop, but vet.
Yes,
Of course.
a screening process, and I'll tell you,
Good.
they have enough work. And so,
Do not call just to call and complain.
So
right.
there is a process. They make sure that what they're investigating are the ones that rise to the top, and we're concerned about kids. And so, again, they have plenty of work to do. So those types of things are going to get screened out. There's going to be, we're going to ask, or the intake folks are going to ask for more information to make sure that child is safe. But, we're talking about some pretty terrible stuff that gets investigated, and you're talking about, if we talk about a continuum, we deal with everything from concerns like you're talking about that may be, we call closed it intake to a child dying because of abuse. And that's a pretty big continuum, but that's the reality of child abuse.
That's the range. That is the range that, I mean, again, like I can only look at it and understand audience. I can only look at it through my lens, right? I can't look at it through your lens because I haven't seen it. So the reason why I gave that example is, and I'm very glad with what you said. If you suspect it and you really feel that it warrants a phone call, make that phone call. I'm not saying don't, but don't just call to call. Okay. These people are working hard enough to make sure that we get the right services to the kids that really need it. Okay.
So, and there's going to be someone on that call to walk you through that.
There you go.
So I would say, if you do suspect, go ahead and make that call.
Right.
Okay.
But you're going to be talking to a human.
Okay. Not a robot.
Yeah, they're going to walk you through that process and let you know, that, what's going to happen next with that. So they'll walk you through it and maybe explain to you what the law is or what the law isn't. And, and usually at that point, it will end that conversation if it doesn't need to go further.
Right.
So when it does need to move to the next step, right? At what point, you mentioned that you help kids and families.
Yes.
At what point does it transition from just helping the kid to helping the family?
Well, child abuse happens in a family system. And so it's important to stop the cycle of child abuse to work with that whole family. And again, we look at a continuum. We have, many of the cases we work with have somebody who can stay in the home and protect that child. They just might need some help in doing that. It may be an issue related to their access to resources, such as medical care or, say, clothing, things like that. We have social workers that will help that family, develop those resources and be able to protect their own kids. The last thing we want to do is take a child out of a family setting if they don't need to be, because that's traumatic in itself. Of course. But if we go down to the down that continuum we're talking about, there may be a case where that child is being sexually assaulted within their home, and in that case, that alleged perpetrator needs to leave that home.
Absolutely.
And then we're going to work with what we call the non-offending family member, who hopefully is supportive of that child, and the family system to heal, but then also to develop the skills in the future to hopefully take back control of their life.
So is there a way to participate, either financially or providing medical supplies or providing, I don't know, toilet paper? Like how do we help? Because at the end of the day, like I can sit here and I can go, great, I support this, right?
Sure.
But what actions behind that?
High five, Lindsay. There you go, right? Yeah. Because a lot of people will speak words. I'm not here to speak words. And anyone who knows me knows I'm not here to speak words, right? If you say, hey, I want to help a little bit, great. How can people help? And maybe because they're not familiar with this and they're not ready to give you guys just money, okay? But how else can they help support you guys?
Yeah, there's a whole host of ways that you can help. One of the things that Dan referred to in terms of like concrete needs children have. We have a rainbow room that's stocked with all new items: shoes, socks, underwear, clothing, school supplies, baby items, that kind of thing. So you can do a collection. I mean, we often have corporations or civic groups that collect items for our rainbow room, or go online to our website and there's an Amazon wish list. You can purchase items that'll be shipped to our rainbow room. We also have 2 special projects every year. We have a back to school fair and a holiday project. And so you can get involved in collecting school supplies. You can get involved in helping children at the holidays. So we have needs all year long, though, and the Rainbow Room is how we meet those.
One of my favorites is a Sunday school class once did Undie Sunday.
Yeah.
Where they collected underwear. And people don't think, hey, why would I, kids need underwear
They
too.
do.
They
do.
They had a day where they collected underwear for us, which was awesome.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
So you mentioned Amazon. Are you guys a non-for-profit?
We are a nonprofit.
Have you guys signed up for Amazon Smile?
Yes, we are.
So
You
there.
can also choose us as your charity for Amazon Smile.
Okay, I want that link.
Okay.
Well, I want the link to be able to do that, and I want to make sure we share that with the audience, because that is it's an intentional, passive way of providing resources for y'all.
Absolutely.
And I love that, and I love what you said about the underwear. People think, oh, they need toys.
Right.
People think they need backpacks. No, they need necessities.
That's right.
Like
Toothbrushes. Yeah.
toothbrushes.
Yeah.
super necessities, like things that we think.
You think every child has them.
Yes, thank you.
And
You
they don't.
read my mind. Yeah, well done. High five you. High five. So, how did you, and I'll let you each take a turn on this. How did you get either interested in this, or how did you guys get involved in this, or was this like please share?
Yeah, I'll go first, I guess. I have a master's degree in social work. I got my degree when I was 24 years old. I had said all the way through undergraduate and graduate school I would do anything but work in the field of child abuse. It was the one thing I was not going to do. But the reality of the workforce hit me. I looked for a job for 5 months. Nobody would hire me because I was 24 and I had no life experience and no professional work experience. And so I ended up going to work for Child Protective Services. And I thought, I'll go there, I'll work a couple years, and then I can move on and do something else I want to do. And I ended up staying there for 14 years. And what happened to me, I think, is that I fell in love with the power of the work. And I don't mean the power of the state. I mean the power of knowing that you were making a difference in a child's life every single day. And then it's become my life's work. All of my work since then has been in this field.
Wow.
Follow that up.
Well, you know,
It's kind of a similar story.
It's a very similar story. Well,
Okay.
I finished my bachelor's degree in social work, and my professor at the time said, "Hey, you've got to do child welfare work to start your career." And at the time, I started grad school, so I was going to grad school at the time. I decided I'll go to work for Child Protective Services, and my first supervisor, 34 or 5 years ago, was Lynne McLean. Happened to be. So we've gone full circle and met again in our career. But she was my.
So we were together. Then we both went our separate ways. He left the state, and then we
got
came
back together at the Advocacy Center. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was 23 years old, and at the time, and I worked for Lynne. I was going to graduate school at the time. I worked for Child Protective Service about 3.5 years, and then had a private counseling practice in Dallas for about 10 years, and before I went to the Children's Advocacy Center.
So between the two of you guys have gone really full circle on this, and now you have enough life experience and industry experience. Now you can lead.
Yes.
This center. That's great because, and here's why I make such a big deal about this. Sometimes you hear about these non-for-profits and you're like, well, who's leading the non-for-profit? And you find out who it is and you're like, that person has no industry experience. Like how did they get in that position? I don't know, but I'm not willing to give my resources, my time, talent, as Pastor Keith would say, any of my time, talent, or treasure into that because I don't believe in the leadership. But here, I'm hearing strong leadership. I'm hearing people who are lifelong industry individuals. So I like that. I like that a lot. In this show, we talk about leadership a lot. We talk about leadership within the household. We talk about leadership within business. We talk about leadership within whatever religious demographic that you choose to practice your religion in, okay? But there was one thing here that I think every parent needs to be aware of, and it's number 2. It's how to keep your kids safe online. And it's the reason why I bring this up is we were leaving Starbucks yesterday, and I'm watching this mom and son walk across the intersection into the Starbucks, and they both have their heads in their devices, the kid and the mom, and they're not paying attention to anything else. And I'm not saying like one that's from a prior military individual, like that is situational awareness 0. Okay, you never do that. But that's not what you guys are going to talk about. You guys want to talk about how to keep your kids safe online. So can you guys a little bit elaborate what can parents do to help with that?
Well, I mean, the reality of our life right now is you know, we used to talk about when I was younger, you know, be careful at the park. There's strangers at the park. Well, our kids are at the park 12 hours a day, it seems like now, on their devices, on their gaming systems, on their computers. It's a very dangerous place, and I don't think people realize that. The predators have found that it's much more efficient, if you want to call it that, to be online and to have different identities, to have different platforms to try and access kids. And they're doing it. We saw, especially during the pandemic, we saw our cyber tips went up 151%.
Pause. What is cyber tips?
Cyber tip is basically a public or a company such as Facebook or, you know, maybe something that kids might gaming system, things like that have given a tip that they're concerned of some type of basically online solicitations happening. Some grooming behavior might be happening online of children, and so they'll make that cyber tip, and that's transferred kind of the jurisdiction where that child may live. And there are specialized detectives that only work those types of cases, and those went up 151%.
Wow.
And that's the ones we know about.
Right.
Unfortunately, kids are pretty secret about their online activities with their kids. So, what we know about, I always times that by about 10, unfortunately, and that's probably what's the reality of what's going on. I think it's grown faster probably than parenting. My two sons, unfortunately, have me for a dad and me in this business.
You mean fortunately?
Fortunately.
They'll say unfortunately, but they're 27 and 23 now. But the rule in our house, and which I suggest to parents all the time, is their devices had to be where we see them at all times. They weren't allowed to have their devices in the room when they were younger. They had to have it in our living room where we could see it. One of the things that in the counseling that I've done through the years that I'm amazed at is parents would say, but it's their phone, it's their computer.
Oh,
and
it's not.
And you'd be surprised. I had the discussion many times, but who bought it? It's yours. So you have the right, and you have the right to have some rules. And I would suggest that before a child gets any device, whether it's a phone, computer, or gaming system, that you develop some rules. And some families go as far as writing those rules down.
Yeah.
As they should.
Which I think is a fantastic thing, kind of a contract. But just realizing that you as a parent are in control of that. You need to know what's going on with that. You need to know how to access it. Know the passwords, simple thing like that. Used to drive my sons nuts, but I'd have to have their passwords to every platform that they were on, and I would look. Knowing who their friends are and who they're talking with online is very important too. Predators online are all over the place, and they're out there. They're posing as kids. They're posing as people who care. They're trying to get access to kids.
So as a parent, what are some things that I can look for in my kids' devices or looking at my kids' friends that would be like a red flag or even like a yellow flag of like, we need to monitor this one continually?
Well, before that, just having a conversation with your kids that not everybody online is who they say they are. And having a discussion about not giving personal information online, about where you live or your school, things like that can identify you or identify your location. But then looking online of are they asking them to do something strange? Are they asking them to meet them? Are they asking them for pictures? Are they, what kind of things? Is it somebody that child knows? Where does this person live? Is it someone from their school, or is it somebody who says they're from Chicago or whatever? There's a lot of red flags. If it feels icky is kind of what I say, that it probably is. And so looking at that and understanding what's going on there. Does it feel like a peer relationship, or does it feel like they're trying to get something?
And trust your gut on that,
Yeah,
too.
that's always. As a parent, I think that's the bottom line for me.
Always.
And my wife, it's trust your gut. And if it seems, kind of gray, then it probably is. And your kids may get upset with you, but there's a gajillion other friends they can make online too, other than that one person.
Well, and let's go down this road real quick, okay? You're your kid's parent. You are not their friend. You are legally and parentally responsible for them. You're not their friend. You will sit down with your kids. You will write out these rules. You will set that expectation. And hear me on this, people. You will lead your family. You are not their friend. At some point in time when they're in their 20s, you could become their friends. Okay? But understand, I'm actually to lower my volume because I'm understanding, I'm like cracking the...
You're a little loud.
Yeah, I'm a little loud.
He's
Sorry, let me
getting
put
a
my volume
little
down.
aggressive, y'all.
Okay?
Just back up from your monitor for a second.
I got it. Thank you. This is a failure of leadership. You as the parents, you as the husband, you as the wife, or if you're not married, you as a single parent, this is a failure of your leadership. If you allow this to happen in your household, you should be held just as responsible. Okay? Especially, now here we go. If you're unconsciously incompetent, if you don't know what you don't know, I get it, but now you know. You have no excuse now. You have resources, you have people. You can ask them, okay? There are resources online you can look at. Now, here we go. You'll know the direction I'm going to go on this. You need to set the expectation with your kid. You need to tell them you're doing this in love. You're doing this out of honor. You're doing this because you're leading your family. If you're leading your family and you're able to do this out of love, you're not going to get that same pushback. We get a little bit of pushback. Absolutely. They're going to be kids. They're going to be teenagers. I get it. But you are the parent. It is not your device's responsibility to raise your kids. It is yours. 1, 2, let's go down this direction. I love that idea. Parents, the devices stay in public.
I like that idea.
When devices go into private, that's when you've started to lose control. Well, I don't know. I'm not telling you don't know. I'm telling you need to be a leader in your household. Stop it. Just stop that. Okay. And the reason why you're hearing me on this is I'm a dad of 3 daughters. I'll tell you right now, their devices are never allowed to go with them unto themselves. That device is always in the living room. Why? Because I know this. You're living in a bubble right now. If you don't think this is real, you're living in a bubble right now. And your bubble just got burst. Okay? So I love that. Setting the expectation. All passwords are public. Your parents have your passwords. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I love that. Okay? And then the keeping it in public.
Yeah. And then educating yourself as a parent. I can kind of work off of what you're saying. There's a lot of resources. Technology is going really fast right now.
Super fast.
And there are new apps every single day that target kids. It's going to take a little work, but getting online and learning, there's a lot of information out there about it, and to be able to access that information is pretty simple. But to stay up on that, what kind of apps are on your kid's device? Learn about that. Understand what those apps do. What are the limitations of those? There are parental control apps out there. They don't work as well as just a parent doing their job because, unfortunately, for every parent control program that's out there, there are evil people that are creating ways to get around those. And so, just as fast as they're made, there's people who are working on to get around those. So the easiest way is to do your best in your home to protect your child. And it's difficult. It is hard, and there's a lot of peer pressure on this, and not everybody has the view of this, and so you're going to get some resistance. But as you said, that's kind of part of being a parent. Sometimes you get resistance, and that's how kids learn.
Matt, thank you for joining us this morning, brother. When you decide to be a parent, you're picking hard mode. Just making that perfectly clear. Like, being a parent is not easy mode. Okay? Being single is easy mode. All right? Being a parent is hard mode. Being a parent is you having to discipline your kids when you really don't want to. Being a parent is having to make sure that you have their devices under control even though they give you some pushback. Okay? You need to be a parent. You need to be a leader.
If I can work off that for a
second.
second.
Go ahead, please.
Because the danger is real. And I want to go, it's real. There are predators out there. Again, they have learned that this is the easiest way to access kids now. And so they're out there. The danger is real. I think there's some, folks, we want to go in denial, kind of like, does child abuse exist here in Collin County? Absolutely. Are predators online? Absolutely, they're online. And it is a dangerous place. We'd never let our children walk by themselves through a crowded park. We'd be watching them at all times.
Yes, I do.
So, it's a dangerous place, and that's the reality of the online world right now, is these predators are there, and they can be lazy about it, if you want to call it that. They can have a few computers or devices working, and they're on 15, 20, 30 apps, identifying as different people on each one of them, just phishing. And,
that's it.
And that's what they do. And it's a scary, scary place. And that's the reality of online safety right now.
It is. It absolutely is. And Matt, that is a great point. So I'm going to pick on Google users real quick. If you have an Android phone, I have a friend that has an Android phone, and his data was spiking all of a sudden. And because Google is an open source code, it's easier to crack. It's easier to hack. Where Apple is a closed source code, which is why it's a bit more stringent. Okay. Oh, Matt, you dropping gold in the comments today, brother. You just dropping gold. But his data was spiky. He didn't know why. Well, someone had hacked his phone and downloaded an app and was using his phone to broadcast this kind of stuff to kids.
Holy cow!
Wow.
And because it's an open source, it was an app. It was running in the background. He didn't even know it. He was like, man, all of a sudden I'm getting my cell phone bills like jumped like double because I'm using all this data. I'm not using this data. Where's it coming from? And he handed me his phone. I go into the settings and I go back and I go look at the data. I'm like, what's this app? And he's like, I never downloaded that. I'm like, bro, this app has used like 8 gigabytes this last month. And we Googled the app, and it's known as it becomes a almost like a, if you guys could think of the word, it's like a remote.
Yeah.
Like it's a remote. It's broadcasting, but it's going through his phone to get to the end user, the person who's using his phone. If someone in the comments can help me,
Like
please.
an antenna.
Like the end user's a bad guy. He's
Right.
using it's a proxy. He's using the phone as a proxy so they can't find the bad guy. Okay.
And then it all goes back to him.
And then it looks like he's the one
Yeah.
doing it. And we deleted it very quickly. And he's like, well, does it mean I'm like on an FBI watch list or something now? I said, honestly, bro, I don't want to know what was sent through your phone.
Right.
I don't want to know. So here we go, right? That's not even kids. That's adults. Yeah. Okay. You need to be aware. If you have, I don't know where my device, oh, my device is the camera. If you have a device, yes, thank you, Matt. Matt beat me to the punch on the word proxy. I appreciate that. You need to be aware of this. Like you as an adult, and if you notice, even on the iPhone, it says, do you want to delete an app? And then it will say, oh, do you just want to remove it from the home screen? Well, you have to remember, every app that you have on your phone is tracking you. They're downloading data. They are data mining you, whether you like it or not. That's the world we live in. Now, the new thing is this augmented reality, now virtual reality. And there's already like the predators have gone full scale on this already. Like I'm already watching data feeds come in, and it's like, I don't know if I even want to go into the virtual reality space right now because there's no safety guards. There's nothing. There's nothing to identify these individuals. They can create these characters. They can interact. They have voiceovers. If you watch the movie, have you guys watched the movie Free Guy?
No.
No? Okay, so in the movie Free Guy, they have the avatar, right? And the second protagonist is like, oh, are you using a voiceover? Yeah. Right? To make you sound Australian or American or whatever. Like these tools exist.
And these predators online are exploiting those curiosities of kids, and they're exploiting those vulnerabilities that they have, especially in like those environments. They're accessing kids who might not have, a big support system. They may not have a lot of friends, or they may be socially awkward, and online is where they thrive.
Right.
And predators will then exploit that and become their friend, become somebody else. Say, I want to visit with you. I want to see you. Send me pictures, kind of things we were talking about before, all those red flags of taking it to the next level. Predators do what we call grooming. And grooming is a process of just lowering the inhibitions or lowering the boundaries of kids.
Building trust.
Exactly.
That's exactly
So,
right.
so
They're
little
trying to
by
build
little, they're breaking down those walls and building this false trust
Right.
that's there. And their ultimate goal is meeting that child and using their power as an adult, because we're talking about an adult here, using their power to manipulate that situation and have access to that children and do horrible things.
So my daughter, I'm real big on respect and honor in my household. And we were over at the community pool once, and this adult asked my daughter to come to her. And I'm standing as far as I am from you, so I'm okay with it, right? But then immediately the red flag goes up was, what if this was another adult? So I actually had to start telling my daughter, like, listen, you don't have to listen to adults. You don't. Like, you have to listen to daddy, you have to listen to mommy, but you don't have to listen to adults you don't know. It's okay to tell them no. Stranger danger. Like, you can yell at the top of your lungs. You will never get in trouble for that, okay? If I come running up, you know daddy's going to protect you. Okay. Now here we go. Listen to what Dan just said. Okay. You as the parent need to become that positive voice in the household, because if you're not that positive voice in the household, someone else is going to replace it, and you don't know who that other person is. Like this is a big deal. I'm not saying be your kid's friend. I'm saying be your kid's leader. Be your kid's parent. Okay. Be that voice. Be that safe space for your child, because if you're not, someone else is trying to be. And here we go. Are you ready for this? And I don't even know if, oh man, hopefully you have some. let's say that this child starts to trust this fake individual, and then something happens. You have now completely ruined the trust of a child. I don't even want to know whatever religion you are. I don't want to know what the bad juju is on doing that. Like that is that's into like a whole other thing. But think about this: like if you're not the leader and someone else gains that kid's trust, and then that trust is destroyed, how does that psychologically affect that kid for the rest of their life?
Well, number one, what abuse does.
Enter in children's advocacy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's exactly why we're here. And
That's exactly it.
yeah, and what abuse does is it takes power away from kids. It takes the power away from kids, and with that power is their sense of safety, their sense of self. They can heal though, and that's in our mission statement is healing. And with the appropriate intervention, kids can heal. They can get their power back. Abuse may be part of their life, but it doesn't have to control their life. And that's
It doesn't have to define them.
That's our goal, is to help them and help their family heal also, and make sure it doesn't happen again. The other piece of that is justice is in our mission statement too. So people who are kids need to have consequences for that, and our law enforcement partners, our district attorney partners, make sure that those people are held accountable. And in Collin County, we take it very seriously.
Very seriously. Yeah, last year we had this multidisciplinary team had a 93% conviction rate of those who harm children.
That is, man. Okay, I could go off with like 15 tangents right now, but we're already at 41 minutes, and we're gonna have to shut this program down today. But here we go. Right. Do I have your permission to put your website into the comments?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Okay. Do I have your permission to put the Amazon Smiles into the comments? Okay, great.
Sure.
And there's a lot of great information on our website. I really encourage people to get on there, check out. There's a lot of information, a lot of education. There's also access to our education programs that we do here in Collin County that will, we can come to a school, we can come to your PTA meeting, your business, and talk about, we have a whole training about keeping your kids safe online. We have trainings about recognizing and reporting abuse. We have trainings for kids about responsible internet use. So we've got lots of opportunities. Part of, we want to make sure that we get ahead of things too, not just respond. We want to be proactive.
So good, right? Love that. Thank you for ending. We were getting on that note. That was so good. So well done. Well, thank you guys for joining us this morning. Hey, it is Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday. What does that mean? Hold on, let me do this real quick. That means, where are you on your big three? Okay, make sure that you are getting number one done today, because tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Tomorrow's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday tomorrow. Yes.
Okay, today's not
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Yes.
Man, I'm losing my days here, right?
Yesterday was Monday. Very good, Nick.
It's one of those things where you never know. You never know, because Nick
it's
loses track of time.
Sometimes, yes.
It is.
You need more coffee.
I need more coffee. I do need more coffee.
It's the coffee.
You think it is the coffee?
I don't know.
So thank you guys for joining us. The audience, where are you on your big three? Make sure you're getting number 2 done today. Why? You know why. I'm going to tell you to take a half a day on Friday. I'm going to tell you to take it. And I'm going to tell you to tell your boss to blame me for you taking half a day on Friday. Why? Here we go, right? If you've learned nothing, if you want to take one takeaway from this, you need to be investing time in your kids. You need to be investing your time, your resources, your time, talent, treasure into your kids. Okay? So take this Friday, maybe take a half a day off, pull your kids, pick them up from school if you don't normally pick them up from school, and take them on a kid date. And just let them talk. Okay? Hear me on this, people. Let them talk. Don't answer over them. Don't speak over them. Let them talk. Actually do the 5 whys. Actually ask them questions. Get them to start trusting you, because if they're not trusting you, someone else will find a way to take their trust. Okay? So we love you guys. You guys know that. You guys know we love you. You guys,
yes,
we
do.
If you don't know we love you, you know we love you. So make sure you guys are in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. If you're hearing this on our podcast, come join us on Facebook and YouTube. And that's how we get the interactions with you. I would like to have you guys back.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So, because this was very beneficial. I learned a lot. And we're going to drop those. Oh, wow. Well done, Lindsay. Did you drop that comment already in there?
Did.
Goodness
Yes,
gracious, like a ninja girlfriend, like a ninja. So we love you guys. You guys have a great day. Make sure that you
Rise up.
and crush it.
Bye,
Bye y'all.
y'all.